Okay, good morning. We're going to start our class. This is the seminar of professional practice, but this is more related to teaching methodology. And I know all of you are professors, so the only thing we're going to do during this course is to review some aspects we already know as approaches, as methods, techniques, probably some strategies, multiple intelligences, types of learners. If we have time, we're going to study some active learning strategies. And we're going to prepare our class, but it's not going to be a class demo as we usually do. We are going to create our virtual classroom. Okay, so we are going to start, and I'm going to share my screen. One thing I have to say is that, okay, so let me do something. Okay, is a long activity because we have 4 hours. So we have to be online for hours. So it's difficult for you, it's difficult for me to stay here during 4 hours, but we're going to work in a collaborative manner. So I need your help. When I require, please help me reading. If you don't help me at the end, I'm going to suffer of my throat. So please help me with this. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start. Okay. Okay. This is our first session, professional practice seminar. Okay, this is our agenda. Welcome and presentation of facilitator. Then we're going to have the presentation of the participants. After that, we're going to have a reflection. Then I'm going to describe the course and I'm going to present our virtual classroom. The topics we're going to study today are learning approaches, methods, teaching techniques, some theories, learning, teachers and learners' role, types of students, factors that affect language learning, and the explanation of the assignments. Give me a second. I have to tell to the office that they have to record the class. Hola, ya puede empezar a grabar la clase. Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Diana Arauz. I'm going to be your facilitator. So I have my curriculum here. Also, it's in the platform. So I work here and also I work as a professor in other universities as in UNACHI. Also, I work here. I am a professor in IPT Baru. So I have my master's degree in English, in higher education, and also in virtual education, how to design a virtual classroom. Okay, so now I want to listen you, and you're going to tell me your name, where do you live, if you work or not, and where did you study, okay? Let's start with Susana.
Okay, good morning for our people. My name is Susana Arauz. I live from Manaca. I want to know all about of this subject. And I study on the University Cuba and this institute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Abel, thank you, Susana. Susana, are you working right now?
No,
No,
for
yeah.
this moment, no. Okay.
Okay. Abel,
Hello, teacher and classmate. My name is Isabela Bendaño. I live in Boquerón. In this occasion, I study in Iberoamericana University, but I licenciatura in Orientación and licenciatura in Derecho y Ciencia Política. But remember, at the last university, I studied English. At the different country have a competition in different type of academic of investigation. I have no more, but in my perspective in this course, so the summative of the 12 points in medical organization as the so weighted is the probability of the summative. Okay, is the long part in of the Republic of Panama in the part of English. So.
okay, thanks. Dailies,
Okay. Good morning. My name is Dailies. I live in Paso Canoas and I study English at Cuba and now here.
okay, Melanie,
Hello, everyone. My name is Melanie Guerra. I live in David. I was studying in the Cuba University, so I have to learn more about English in this seminar.
okay, thanks. Are you working, Melanie?
No, teacher.
No, okay, Liliana Arauz.
Good morning, teacher. My name is Elsie Liliana Estribía Arauz. I live in Renacimiento, Caizán. I study English in Latin University, and right now I'm not working.
Okay, I would appreciate if you turn off your camera when you are going to talk because I want to see you,
Yes.
your faces.
Sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
Verónica. Okay, your microphone is off.
I'm sorry, Professor. Good
Okay.
morning. My name is Veronica Piti. I live in Boquete. Currently, I am not studying. Just I take the technique with you. I work at UNACHI, Boquete branch, and I would like to learn more about English conversation. It is a purpose this class. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, as I told you, is in order to reinforce things that we already know about the methods, techniques, and all of this. So I need your help because we are going to read a lot of things. Also, we have an activity we're going to perform here. Now I'm going to share. You may turn off your camera because I see your faces if you want. And I'm going to share. And I'm going to continue. Okay. Now we have a reflection. And this reflection is about teaching It's about the process of teaching and the role of us as professors.
I think the only way we can improve teacher quality is to create a culture of continuous improvement. And that is given lip service in many districts, but nobody's really facing them what it really is in practice. See, I think that every teacher needs to get better. In many districts, they target help at the teachers who need support, who need help, who have difficulties. Well, you know what? Every teacher has difficulties. Every teacher fails on a daily basis. If you're not failing on a daily basis, you're just not paying attention. Because we fail all the time. Many of you will walk out of this room absolutely convinced I said stuff I know I didn't say. As teachers, we fail all the time. We teach these brilliant lessons, we take in the notebooks, we look at what the kids have written, and we wonder what planet they were on when we teach this stuff. Our daily experience as teachers is a failure, which makes it the best job in the world, because you never get any good. At one time, Andre Previn was the highest paid film score composer in Hollywood. And one day he walked into his office and quit. And people said, "Why did you quit this amazing job?" He said, "I wasn't scared anymore." Every day he was going into his office knowing his job held no challenges for him. Is there something you are never going to have to worry about? This job you're doing is so hard that one lifetime isn't enough to master it. So every single one of us needs to accept the commitment to carry on improving our practice until we retire or die. That's the deal.
Okay, so we have watched this video. So now I want to listen your opinion about this video. Okay, Abel.
Okay, in the reflection and the video as a practice is a stamp of a fundamental rule or pillar that is the professional and personal practice, but is the stem of the reconstruction or the many part in the classroom or the virtual or the face-to-face way to meet is the feedback, is the integrating the self-assignment and construction, the critical part. But the pedagogic is also the learning experience of the student. I will cultivate different many or reflection with the with the classroom is the different type of adaptability in construction, the many part of the different many type of idea where is the possible or not possible in treating as the major different meaning of mechanism the teaching process of the better day than they will are different type of that from the future or yesterday. This occasion is the good better part in a construction, critical part in different type of mechanism and assignment.
Thanks, Abel. I want to listen other student. Okay, Liliana, what do you think about the video?
Okay, teacher, I think that the teachers can help the student in many ways because including building positive relationships, providing effective instructions, enforcing critical thinking skills. I think that the teacher have to create a friendly learning environment.
Learning environment, a great learning environment. Okay, another. So he says something that is the best job in the world. Do you think that is the best job in the world, and why? Do you consider this, Melanie, is the best job in the world?
The English teacher.
To be a teacher is the best job in the world, he says, is the best job in the world. Do you agree? Do you consider that being a teacher is the best job in the world? Melanie or another?
Teacher, I can say that
So
if you like to be a teacher,
so I yes.
Carry on, Melanie.
Yes, teacher. I consider English is a good profession. Um, is a big opportunity for now another country and communication with others persons.
Okay.
So currently, English is the most important language around the world.
Okay. Susanita.
hello, teacher. I can see that if you like this profession, you share or create a new professional.
Okay, because we contribute to teach new professionals. Okay, please.
Okay, teacher, for me, I'm agree because we have the opportunity to teach other person and create good students and future professionals.
Okay, Abel, you raise your hand.
Teacher, so very important point, but remember English is a fundamental language today here in Panama, but outside of Panama, English is not taken into a core. Science is into not a language that is a required outside in Panama, where is a Spanish, Hebrew, Britannic, and Argentine. But in from Panama is the fundamental language you acquire across in the different type of work. Make is the many mechanism.
Exactly. So to learn English is nowadays a necessity. because in many jobs, in many activities, people require the domain of English to get a job. So I consider nowadays to learn English is a necessity. We must. So as a professional, well, I can say that it's a good job. For us, it's the best job, probably not for others, but it depends the way you behave. If you don't, I said to my students, if you don't want to be a teacher, don't do that. Why? Because when we are teachers, professors, and we are counselors, we are in some occasions like mother, like a father, we are friends, we have to listen problems, we have to help. Probably we're going to spend our own money in others. And it's something that is demanding, but you receive a gratification when you observe that you contribute with others' life, with their progress, and also with our society. But I consider it's not so well paid as people said, but is something that for me is enough. And I'm thankful for my job. And I think that I'm really happy when I teach. When I work with kids, I enjoy. I'm really happy with my job. Okay, guys, we're going to continue. We're going to continue, and I'm going to share my screen again. And we go to this part that is the course description. So now I'm going to share the platform. In the platform, we have the presentation of our course, as we have here. Welcome to this course. Facilitator. My phone number. My email. Here we have the description of the course. The schedules. So we have classes today and also on March 16, the link of the classes. Then we have the general and specific objective of this course. Here we have some recommendations. Okay. Some recommendations. Your camera should be on during the class. Okay? Why? Because it's important and it's necessary. It happens that when the teacher calls, so people don't answer because usually students turn on and put the cell phone, and when you call, they are not here in our lesson, in our class, okay? Another thing is that you are going to follow the format, the instruction given by the teacher, okay? It doesn't happen with English students. I wrote this, but it doesn't happen with you. It happened with education students. When I said, no poner bordes a las páginas, ni marco, ni florecita, blah, 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 blah. Why I wrote this? Because usually when I work with education students, they usually do that. Put colors, borders, flowers, ice cream trees, all of this, and is informal. For example, when I teach research or other subjects, so for this reason I copy this, but I know that it doesn't happen with English students. Okay, so please read the instruction, please read the rubric. Another thing that is important is be creative, be original, okay? Do not copy and paste from internet. Then we have the content session by session, session by session, then sources of information. I also upload a model, okay? Is probably a short model, but it contains brief information about different topics, but you may use others books, other resources in internet, whatever you want. The lesson plan and my curriculum. Then we have the evaluation. This is important. We don't have a lot of activities. We have 4 activities, only 4 activities. Activity 1 and 2, 15% each activity. Then we have assignment 1, 10%, and assignment 2, 15%. And finally, it says final examination, but it's not a final examination, it's a project. Okay, well, then we have the activity number 1. And in activity number 1, okay, I'm going to tell you the instruction of each activity, okay. The activity number 1 is an infographic, okay? You may use Canva or another tool you consider to do this. In this, you are going to research about a holiday. Remember, when we teach English, we teach also culture, okay? So you are going to select one activity, maybe Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Flags Day, Veterans Day, Martin Luther King Day, Thanksgiving, what else? St. Patrick, I think St. Patrick's Day too. So the activity you decide, and you are going to research about the activity and are going to prepare an infographic. Okay, what is the activity, what people do, and the information you consider is necessary to inform people about this activity. So I'm going to evaluate in the infographic content, accuracy, and relevance, organization and structure, visual appeal and creativity, conciseness and clarity, use of graphics and images, grammar, spelling, and language use. This is the activity number 1 in class activity, the activity you're going to do. Well, then you have, this is activity 1. Then you have assignment 1. Assignment 1 says comparative chart. In the comparative chart, you're going to use methods and approaches. Says select approaches and methods. Choose at least 5 language teaching approaches. Examples: grammar, translation method, direct method, communicative approach, task-based, audiolingual. Okay. Use columns for comparison aspects. See suggested criteria below. Include the following aspects in the comparison chart. What is the definition, principles, the role of the teacher, the techniques, advantage and disadvantages, and examples. Use clear and concise language. Here we have the evaluation criteria: content and accuracy, organization, comparative depth, language use and grammar, critical reflection. Remember, you are going to prepare a comparison chart and include in the different columns this aspect: the definition of the concept, the principles, the role of the teacher and students, the techniques, advantages and disadvantages, and example use. Someone raise the hand.
Teacher, I have a many question, but the comparative chart in this occasion is the cuadro comparativo.
Yes.
Yes or not? Okay.
Yes. Mhm. And you are going to create different columns. For example, in the first line, for example, you're going to write grammar translation. You're going to define the concept here, then definition of the concept, the most important principles, role of teacher and students, advantages and disadvantages, okay? Something like this. Remember, do not write a lot of information in each space. It's a comparison chart. Try to be precise. Try to be concise. Why? Because when we have a lot of information, it's bored, and people usually don't read when we have a lot of information, okay? Focus on the most important point: disadvantages, this and this and this, okay? Define, brief, and concise. Okay, let's see the other activity. The other activities. Okay, we have the other activities here. In class activity number 2. Okay, it's something you are going to do, but the next class we're going to share here. We're going to do this, but we're going to share here in the class. It's a gallery walk. We're going to try to simulate a virtual gallery walk, because the gallery walk is using the classroom, but we're going to try to do something similar in a virtual classroom. Okay.
Teacher, excuse me.
Tell me.
I can say that enter in the platform. I can appreciate this information you presented. For example, in the biography, you explain the different type of the holiday. No can see the introduction yet.
Okay. You said about the holidays.
Yeah,
What do you want?
The 2 assignments of today, the infographic and assignment number 1.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
The instruction of the assignment.
The instruction, I'm here. I'm reading the instruction. The instruction, I'm here in the platform. I'm in the platform. Here we have
the description. The description I know visible in the platform. The instruction. Yeah.
The instruction is in the platform. I'm reading the platform. The same I have here is the same you have in your platform.
Okay, then let me show.
Here you have the instruction and the evaluation criteria. Okay, let's continue. We are in activity number 2. It's a gallery walk. Okay. In the gallery walk, as I told you, we're going to do something similar here, I said here that we're going to use Zoom, Google Meet. We are in Google Meet, so we're going to work here. What are you going to do? Here I have group research because I thought that you were more than 10, but you are only 6 students, so you may do this alone. And you are going to create a presentation. You may use Google Slides, Canva, Jamboard, Padlet, PowerPoint, whatever you want, okay? So be creative. Use the platform, use the source you want, okay? But what you are going to do, you are going to define what the intelligence you select, the characteristics of that intelligence, examples in real life situations. So in our case is in the classroom, and the most appropriate, the most useful, the best learning strategies or activities you may conduct in a classroom. So right now, we're going to tell you the type of learning and the type of intelligence, okay? Susana and Abel, you are going to work alone, okay? Alone. But Susana, visual learner. And Abel, visual learner. Dailies and Melanie, auditory learner. And Liliana and Veronica, kinesthetic. Okay, I'm going to repeat because we have 6 students. Susana and Abel, visual. Dailies and Melanie, auditory. Liliana and Veronica, kinesthetic. Remember, you're going to work alone. So this is the type of learner. Now, we're going to divide the groups according to the type of intelligence, okay? Susana, what type of intelligence do you want? Susana, tell me one.
What is the question, teacher?
Select one type of intelligence. Which, you know the multiple intelligence? Gardner's intelligence.
Intelligent garden.
No. I'm talking about Gardner multiple intelligence theory. You should select one intelligence to do your presentation: bodily, kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, musical, visual. What else? Naturalistic, logical, mathematical. What did you select?
Natural.
Naturalistic.
Yeah.
Naturalistic. Abel? You should wait. Abel?
Repeating again, please.
Okay, we have musical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, linguistic, logical, mathematical. I said intrapersonal too. And Susana already select naturalistic.
Okay, this is the subtopic or the topic? I don't know.
This is the topic. This is the topic.
Okay, this is the topic of the presentation in the different type of the different.
Okay, wait a little bit. The next class, we're going to have an activity. And the activity is gonna be the gallery walk. Gallery walk is the name of the activity. In this activity, we're going to talk about types of learners. The other topic is multiple intelligences. I divide the different types of learners. Susana and Abel, visual. Dailis and Melanie, auditory. Liliana and Veronica, kinesthetic. Now, we're going to divide the different multiple intelligences. Is other thing. So, Susana select naturalistic. What do you select?
Okay, I select the music.
Musical.
Musical.
Musical intelligence. Dailies?
Interpersonal, teacher.
Intrapersonal. Okay, thank you. Melanie?
Linguistic teacher.
Linguistic. Okay, Liliana?
En mathematics.
Logical mathematics. Veronica?
Professor, I choose visual.
Visual is not a type of intelligence. We have, okay, naturalistic is already selected.
I read the information
It's
and
called visual spatial.
yeah, visual special.
Exactly. Because the type of learner is visual. Visual spatial is the multiple intelligence, okay?
Yes, I
Thanks.
choose this.
Okay. Exact. Very good. Visual spatial, logical mathematical, linguistic, intrapersonal, musical, naturalistic. Okay, we have a classmate that is raised the hand is Luis. Tell us, Luis.
Hi everyone, good morning. Sorry, I couldn't connect early because I didn't have internet. So, right, like 20 minutes ago, I was trying to connect, but right now I'm okay. I'm here. So I want to select a multiple intelligence, but I already saw that everyone have one. I'm not sure if there are something left.
Okay, we
Because
have Luis and
interpersonal, logical, musical, spatial, and linguistic as they are
no,
already select.
Obed. You are late too, Obed. I don't have Obed in my list. Obed. Obed and Luis.
Pretty good morning. Pretty good morning, dear Profa and colleague here. Yeah, I couldn't get access early morning, so sorry for that. But yeah, I listen in your explanation, so I tune, Prof. I tune with the class. Never mind. I gonna
Okay,
select my topic.
I want to listen your self-introduction. Luis, where do you live? Your name, where did you study?
Well, hey, hi everyone. I'm from here, Chiriquí, David. Well, I study at UNACHI, the career of English as a second language with methodological math. And well, I'm here trying to learn more, upgrading my skills is my main plan.
Okay. So remember, you should turn on your camera, okay? Obed, your self-introduction, please, and turn on your camera, okay? Then Janie, the same. Turn on your camera.
Okay. As I told you before, well, so I couldn't be early morning here. Well, the first thing that we have to get in our mind is God provide us the help, and we continue ahead. So, my name is Roberto Riola. I am English teacher too. Well, it's a pleasure to meet all the professor here and the student too. So, I come from Chiriquí. I was born in Chiriquí, so I'm so proud of that. And also, Well, I here for learning more with the professor. So I so exciting for this class to get more like to be more innovative with the technology. Well, what else, Prof? I have to say.
Okay, remember you should turn on your camera, okay?
Got it. Yeah, got it.
Please, I need to observe your faces, not your forehead, not your hair,
Yeah,
your complete face. Okay,
got it.
Luis, could you move your camera because I observe your forehead. Janie, you should turn on your camera and we are going to listen your self-introduction. Move your camera, Luis. I need to see, okay. Janie, we're going to wait, Janie.
She got some issue. She opening the mic.
Teacher, I saw inserted of me. Teacher, you introduce the platform design. I have do the introduction for the any activity are that not showing up. Okay, let me check. Can I present my platform?
Check because I opened the platform as a student and all the information is there. Check, please.
Oh, okay. This is the part of the edition in the of the profession.
Janie, could you open your camera, please, because we are waiting. Thank you. Could you introduce yourself?
Okay, hello, Professor. Yes, so my name is Jenny Rivera. I am an English teacher. I currently work here in Panama. I don't know if I have to say something else. I have been working with a student 10 years. I currently work with middle school. And I am from Chiriquí, but currently I am living here in Panama, just by education with my English students.
Okay, so now we are going to select other topics for the students that are late. So I think you should, okay, I'm going to select from this to talk about probably maybe, okay, I have that topic. Okay, Obed, you are going to talk about teachers' role in education.
Teacher role in education.
Teachers'
Okay.
role in education. Luis, you are going to talk about students' role in education. And Janie, material selection. Okay, you have to emphasize on the difference between teaching kids, teaching teenagers, teaching adults, okay? You're going to talk about teacher's role. Okay, what is the role of the teacher when we teach kids, when we teach teenagers, when we teach adults, okay? The same with the role of students, when they are kids, when they are teenagers, when they are adults. And the same with that material, okay? That's your topic. Okay. Abel, did you check that the instructions appear in the platform?
Let me check, teacher. Let me check.
Okay, check. Because it's important. Okay. Now we are going to continue. As I told you, I need your help. Okay.
Teacher, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet the instruction. Let me a presentation about my platform, please.
Teacher, in my platform,
Okay, let me a moment, please. Let me a moment. This is the activity number 1. I don't have instruction. I locate this infographic. I don't know the state. Okay. The another professor, I put them the information in format of Word, in document of Word. Let me check in ok, aparece al lado de entrega el documento, entonces uno lo descargaba y podría ver la indicación y posteriormente ya subía la asignación. Pues en ninguna de las que están aquí se puede apreciar. Por ejemplo, esta es la actividad número 1 de lo que es la infografía. Y posteriormente pasamos a la asignación 1 y no se aprecia.
Okay, let me check in my platform. Thank you for the good. Thank you for the next person. Okay. I'm going to show you how is the process. Okay. I am right now in the platform as student, okay? Well, if you observe my platform, here says estudiante. I'm as a student, okay? We have here activity number 1. We click agregar entrega. You are going to research about a holiday, blah, 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 blah. And here we have that evaluation criteria. You are going to read all the instruction here. And when you have the activity, you are going to upload the activity. All the instructions are here. Then, when you have assignment 2, the same. All the instructions are here. All the instruction. And we are in assignment 2. Okay, in class activity 2, what you're going to do? The gallery walk. We already divide. And here we have the evaluation criteria. Content and accuracy, digital presentation and organization, participation, interaction, reflection. You may use Google Slides, PowerPoint, and the source you decide. That is in class activity. Then we have the assignment number 2. And the assignment number 2 says, lesson plan. And here I upload that document. Prepare a lesson plan. You're going to complete this format. And finally, I did the same. In the final project, I upload an important information. But here, you have to click to download the final project. I click, but it doesn't want to open. We have to wait. It's downloading. Okay. We should wait. Okay, and here we have the final project. What is the final project? The final project is the creation of a virtual classroom with all the elements. But I'm going to explain this the next class. This is the final project. It's not a class demo. We are going to create a virtual classroom, okay? So now you know how to observe the instruction, okay? So you have to click to read the instruction. I don't know if you are clear right now. It's because I usually check as a student in order to prove that you may read the information. For this reason, I was surprised because I checked. So the information is there. So the only thing you have is to click. So now I'm going to change my role again as a professor. Okay. Rule. And I'm going to close this. Okay. Are you clear right now? Guys, tell me.
Professor, assignment number 1 and in class activity number 2, there isn't a document. So we don't have instruction yet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
What I
all
Santo Dios. What I already said. What I already show. Hmm? Dailies.
We have to select, agregar entrega, and then we have the instructions.
I already
sorry.
explained.
Right. I saw.
Guys, don't feel confused. The only thing you have is to click and the instruction is there.
Yeah,
I think you are stressed. Why are you stressed? That is anxiety. Don't feel anxiety and stress. The instructions are there and are activities that are easy to do. Okay, we're going to continue. We're going to continue. Okay, now you're going to help me with this. We're going to talk about learning approaches, methods, and teaching techniques. Okay, this is just in order to reinforce the concepts we study, okay? What is an approach? What is an approach? Okay, Janie, please read. What is an approach? Janie, what is an approach? Would you read?
Okay, I'm sorry, Professor. An approach is a theory about language learning or even philosophy of how people learn in general. They can be psychology focused, such as behaviorism or cognitivism. They can also be based on older philosophies, such as idealism or realism.
Okay, it's a theory about a language, okay? About language learning, how people learn. Approach is a theory. That is the most important word, is a theory. Approach is a theory about language learning, okay? Then we have the following concept. What is the following concept? Is method. What is a method? Luis, would you read what is a method?
A method is an application of an approach in the context of language teaching. An example of a method is the grammar translation method. This method employs the memorization of various grammar rules and the translation of second language material to the student's native language.
Excellent, excellent. This method employs the memorization of various grammar rules and the translation. So the method is the application. The approach is the philosophy, is the theory. The method is the application. And what is the technique? Obed, what is the technique?
Okay. A technique is a single activity that comes from a procedure. Any one of the steps of the procedure list above qualifies as a technique. Naturally, various methods employ various techniques.
Mhm. So, in few words, so we have the approach is the theory. Then we have the method. What is the method? The
Application.
application. And then we have the technique. What is the technique? Is how we're going to develop that activities we perform or conduct in a classroom. And we have a comparative chart about approach, method, technique, and strategy. Because I confuse this, believe me. So for this reason, it's necessary to read charts like this because we usually confuse. Okay, for example, what are some teaching approaches? Teacher-centered, learner-centered, interactive, constructivist, collaborative, individualistic, direct, guided. What are methods? Inductive and deductive, direct, indirect, reporting, demonstration. What are techniques? Small group, socialized classroom, direct instruction, residential technique. And what is the strategy? The strategy is the activity we use in the classroom. Maybe jigsaw, maybe Pictionary, run to the board, memory story, the 5 whys, list group label, pin pressure, gallery walk, positive, negative, interesting, the post-it, dramatization, dictation, and all the activities we usually do in a classroom, okay? So now we're going to talk about some of them, some approaches and teaching methods. Approaches and teaching methods. And here we have a picture that shows us the difference between 10. Approach, as we said, as you read, is a theory about how to teach. Approach is a theory. Method is the application. So what is the synonym? Action is the application. And technique are the strategies we apply into a classroom. Now we're going to review some methods, okay? And in this part, I'm gonna use your precious and beautiful voices because, as I told you, you are going to help me. Okay, Susana, could you read what is the audiolingual method?
Okay, audiolingual method based on Skinner behaviorist theory. It assumes that a human behavior can be trained using a system of reinforcement. Correct behavior receive positive feedback, while errors receive negative feedback. Emphasis is on the acquisition of pattern in common everyday dialogue.
Dialogue.
Dialogue. The ideolingual method was daily used in the 1950 and 1960. and the emphasis was not on the understanding of words, but rather of on the acquisition of structures, but pattern in common everyday dialogue.
Okay, so the audiolingual method is based on the behaviorism theory developed by Skinner, okay? Audiolingual method. And what is the emphasis? The acquisition of patterns in everyday dialogues, okay? At the end says, the emphasis was not on understanding of words, but rather on the acquisition of structures and patterns in common everyday dialogue, okay? Then we have the next. Some characteristic of this method. Okay. Remember I said we're going to read a lot of things because we're going to reinforce. What are some characteristics? Learning is built on repetition, habit formation, and some other mechanical drills. For example, remember when we work with kids or teenagers, for example, when I work with them, I usually say, guys, remember, subject, verb, complement. If we are going to tell something that is a negative statement, remember, subject, auxiliary, do or does not, verb, and complement. And they create sentences, affirmative and negative, and it's something repetitive, but they internalize the grammatical structures. In this case, that is the audiolingual method. They repeat sentences, create sentences, okay? And not always as a dialogue, but they repeat sentences probably about their daily life, probably about their routines, things they do at school, okay? Another says set phrases are memorized with a focus on intonation. For example, the daily routines. I usually go to school at 8 o'clock. We never do this and this. Set of phrases. Okay. Dailies, could you read the next one?
Okay. And some characteristics of this method are: learning is built on repetition, habit information, and some other mechanical drills. Dialogue memorization. Set phrases are memorized with a focus on intonation. Inductive teaching is a way of teaching grammar, so explicit grammar rules are not seen. Everyday language and oral communication are important parts of ALM. Grammatical explanations are kept to a minimum. Vocabulary is taught in context. Audiovisual aids are used, and focus is on pronunciation, and correct responses are positively reinforced
Reinforced immediately. Okay. So what things we have to correct, for example, when we give the student a set of phrases? Something that usually happens to me is when I work with the simple present tense and I say, okay, we're going to memorize the routines. So I usually use flashcards, but a thing that usually have to reinforce is something like this. They said he worked in a bank. I have to say he works in a bank because we have to internalize the third singular person. What things happen to you If you work, okay, because some of you told me that you don't work, but the students that have experience, what happened to you? What things you have to reinforce? Janie, you told me that you are working. What things happened to you? Janie. Janie.
Tell me, Professor.
Guys, I'm going to say something. Okay, I'm going to say something. I'm going to give you.
Teacher, can you give me a couple of minutes? Sorry if I am here. It's because I have to this side of pills because I'm here, but
I'm
I
going
have
to
an
say
issue.
something. I'm going to say something.
Okay.
I'm going to say something. At the beginning of the class, I said two things. The first thing is that your camera should be open. Why? Because I'm going to call you in different moments. So you have to be here, okay? To be here in our virtual classroom as we are in a real classroom. The first is you have to turn on your camera, because if you don't have your camera on, I'm going to consider that you are absent. That's the first thing I said. The second thing I said is that you are going to help me. It means that in any moment I'm going to call you. Don't worry, because we have physical necessities and situation. Okay, you may go to drink water, you may go to the restroom, you may go to take your pills, but please, when I call you, answer. Okay, at 10 o'clock, I'm going to give you 15 minutes for a recess because we need time. Also, I need my time. But please, when I call you, answer, okay? If you want 10 minutes at this moment and 10 minutes later, so I'm going to give you minutes, okay? Tell me, do you need 10 minutes right now? Tell me. Yeah, okay. I'm going to give you 10 minutes at this moment and probably at 10:45, 10 minutes more, okay? So right now, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. It's 9:18 and 9:28, okay? At 9:28, okay? Take your recess. Okay?
Professor, you're mute. Professor, you're mute. Your mic, your microphone is mute.
I'm going to wait, Jamie. Okay. We're going to continue with audiolingual method. And I was talking about that I usually reinforce the students with repetitions, usually when they don't internalize the third singular person. And I ask if some of you were at this moment, what kind of things or experience you have about this situation. Nobody works here? Nobody works. No?
Prof, are you sharing the slide or something?
No, I'm talking. Only talking. Nobody works?
Yeah.
Professor, are you referred to the if we work in education?
Exactly, exactly. If
No,
you
Professor, not
no,
yet.
no
Not yet.
yet. Jamie, do you work in education? No? Okay, sorry. Sorry, I thought that one or two of you were in education. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Professor, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
what experience do you have with this? When they repeat things?
When we use the method about repeating like audio,
Mhm.
well, in phonetics. I'm in phonetics. I using that kind of method that you showed us before. For example, when you have to show them the homophone sounds, we have to use that kind of the different word, a different word, but the repetition of that sounds are a little bit similar. But you have to explain that just for a word, the meaning change, although the pronunciation sounds similar.
Okay, for example, when you use this sheep versus sheep, something like this, you said, when
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
to emphasize in a single phoneme. Okay, that's okay. This is another example. Okay, I'm going to talk about now the total physical response. And the kids like when we use this, the total physical response, because they are going to perform actions, follow commands, instructions when we use this, but also it may be used with adults. Abel, could you read, please?
Okay, the total physical response is a language teaching approach that relies on the coordination of the language and the physical movement. It was developed by American physical James R. in 1970. The mini concept is a TPR in the learning response physical. The EAR2 commands used by the educator. This process is engaged the body, creating a connection between the spoken language and the corresponding action. TRP is a particular useful for the but not limited to teaching beginner and younger student has the high effective to teaching imperative based language where are the common and earliest expression role action.
Okay, it says it's a language teaching approach. Okay, it's an approach. Okay, what is the main concept? Learners respond physically to language too. It means that the instructions are going to be given in the target language. In our case, it's going to be in English. So usually we use this with kids. For example, when we work with songs as if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So they clap your hand. Another song is head, shoulder, knees and toes, knees and toes. Another maybe the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. And all of these songs in which they listen something and they perform the action. That is total physical response. So we may use this to teach commands. Says that TPR is useful but not limited. So it means that we may use with teenagers, with adults, but it's usually used with kids and young students, okay? To teach imperative, to teach commands, to teach number, to teach body parts, okay, and also to teach feelings. Okay, what are some advantages? Melanie, could you read advantages of total physical response?
Advantages. CPR aims multiple senses by combining physical movement with language learning. These multimodal approaches improve memory retention, making it easier for students to recall vocabulary and grammar structure. Students are physically involved in the lesson, which keeps them engaging and motivate throughout the class. It can be easily adapted for a wide range of language learning contexts and situations. CPR stimulates the way children acquire their first language. It immerses learner in a context.
Exactly. So we may use this with different topics. So as I told you, when we sing the song The Wheels on the Bus is not to teach movement. Is a song we use to do things. So for example, go round and round. The mom is on the bus. So they are going to listen and do different kind of things. So
Or
they are,
Simon said,
Simon says,
uh-huh, raise your hand.
yeah, I like that. I like that song. Uh, what is it? That I don't remember the name of the song. Right hand, left hand, chin up, turn around, sit down. So I don't remember the name of that song, but I like this because we sing quickly and they perform the things. Another I like is Father Abraham. I know that is the song. Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham. And they say, I am one of them, and so are you. So let's just praise the Lord, right hand, and then continue. Right hand, left hand, then right hand, left hand, right. And I like this song because it helps the students to learn the different parts of the body. And there are others that they have to do movement like an animal or probably sounds. It's this method, total physical response, functions very efficiently with kids to teach numbers, to teach body parts, to teach moods, to teach feeling, commands, a lot of things. And now with the artificial intelligence, we may create songs to teach different things depending on our topic. Okay, I don't like a lot of this method, but I have to talk about this. The silent way method. And Liliana, you are going to help me reading this.
Silent way method. The silent way method is a language teaching method that was developed by Caleb Getnut in the 1960s. These methods emphasize the use of self-discovery and students' independence in the learning process. The teacher is expected to be silent most of the time, allowing the students to discover the language on their own. In the silent way, the teacher used physical objects, such as color rods or dictionary rods, to help students learn new vocabulary and grammar structures. The teacher may also use charts and diagrams to help students understand the language. The students are encouraged to use the language in a meaningful way, with the teacher providing minimal guidance.
Okay. I don't like this method because I like to talk a lot. But sometimes we use this, for example, when we create with kids, we create sentences and we put into pieces and they have to scramble the sentences to put in order, and also with letters, and they are going to create words about a vocabulary. You're going to give a lot of cards, flashcards, or pieces of paper, and they may create words or phrases, sentences, whatever you decide, depending on that topic. Maybe also matching. And with others, we may use the hangman in Wordwall, in the platform Wordwall. It's useful, this platform, to work with those kind of students. Sugistopedia. Veronica, read what is Sugistopedia.
Suggestopedia method. It is based on the idea how the human brain works and how we learn most effectively. It includes a rich sensory learning, a positive expectation of success, and the use of a varied range of methods like dramatized text, music, active participation in song and games, etc.
Okay, and Sugistopedia, it's also related to music. So we are going to create an appropriate environment, and we're going to use not all type of songs, okay, specific type of music that help the brain, the scientist says, help the brain to feel relaxed. And when the brain is relaxed, it's able to receive information in a better way. Also, we can use songs to conduct some activities in the classroom. It's a little bit related, total physical response. Advantages of Sugistopedia. Over.
Okay.
Help me with the reading.
Okay. Music can facilitate learning. The environment helps a student relax physically. They have easy access to materials and resources that they need. Emotionally, they feel comfortable to take risks without fear of judgment or ridicule. The setting, arrangement, decorations, sound of the lighting all contribute to motivating a student without distracting them. Reading out loud helps the student remember no content.
Okay, thank you. So, what happened with this? Usually we think or we believe that when we talk about Sugistopedia is something like this. Listen to music, but Sugistopedia involves a series of aspects, and it's more related to classroom arrangement. And the students should feel comfortable when they are going to receive classes. The seat arrangement, the environment, probably the color of the walls, illumination, position of chairs, position of the desk, position of the board, the colors you use in your presentation, the use of materials, the sounds. I don't know if I say the illumination, and it's not necessary a lot of noise, that tone of voice. So the most important thing here is that students should be comfortable, relaxed. As we have here, emotionally, they feel comfortable. Okay? It doesn't matter if he or she wants to be seated on the floor or on a chair. So he needs to be comfortable to receive the instruction, to receive the information. That is Sugistopedia. And also involve the music, because some scientists says that there is a kind of music that help us to feel relaxed. Communicative language teaching, okay? Luis.
Okay, communicative language teaching. It's a teaching method that focuses on enhancing student language proficiency through interactive activities and communication. Communicative teaching, CLT, an approach focuses on developing student communicative competence through interactive activity and communication. Principles of CLA include focus on communication, functional language use, task-based activity, collaborative learning, and student-centered learning.
Okay, so here we have the explanation of everything. It says focus on communication, interaction. So when we talk about interaction, it involves fluency, involves vocabulary, says use task-based activities, collaborative learning, and student-centered. And it's important because when we talk about collaborative learning, it's because they are going to interact between them. So it helps to increase knowledge, to develop confidence, to develop fluency, to develop accuracy when they work together as a team. Obviously, in a collaborative way, because in some occasion, they have a group, but they don't work in a collaborative way. Janie, help me with the other information.
Okay, Professor. So we can mention the first point that language used to communicate must be appropriated to the situation, the roles of the speakers, the setting, and the register. The learners need to differentiate between a formal and informal style. That is the first point. The second one mentioned is communicative activities are essential. Why? Because it have activities should be presented in a situation or content and have communicative purpose. Typically, activities of this approach are, we have some examples here that we can read like a games, problem solving, tasks, and role play. And also there should be information gap, choice, and feedback involved in the activities. Well, so addition, we have like learners must have a constant interaction with an exposure to the target language. And finally, we have like a development of the 4 macro skills that is gonna be like speaking, listening, reading, and writing. So here we can say that is integrated from the beginning, size, communication, integrate the different skills.
Hey, thank you. So remember 2 important things here. One, the constant interaction or exposure to the target language. And the next is try to involve the 4 skills: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Okay? Then we have the natural approach. The natural approach, and the natural approach is the last one. The natural approach was developed by Tracy Terrell and Stephen Krashen and was introduced in the book The Natural Approach in 1983. This method is based on observation of how children acquire their native language. Remember, in this case, we're talking about native language. In our case, it's second language. It attempts to adapt this process of language acquisition to an adult learning environment. What are the 4 stages of natural approach? One is the pre-production. Second, the early production. Then speech emergence. And finally, the immediate fluence. Okay, now we're going to do something. We review the audiolingual method, the total physical response, the silent way, the suggestopedia, communicative language teaching, and the natural approach. So you're going to think about one of these, the approach that caught your attention or the approach you liked. Okay, remember, maybe audiolingual, total physical response, silent way, suggestopedia, communicative language teaching, or natural approach. And you are going to write something positive, something negative, and something interesting about this approach, the approach you select, okay? I'm going to give you some minutes to do this, and then randomly, I'm going to select 2 or 3 students to talk about this, okay? Positive, negative, and interesting. Because I think I may take a lot of time to work with you how to design a virtual classroom. So I have a question, just in order to write this, because I have to modify some things. Have you worked or have you designed a virtual classroom? No?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who?
Me, Prof.
Obey. And the others? No? No? A website? Have you designed a website, educational website? No?
Oh, yes, a Google site.
Okay, very good. So we're going to try to design an excellent virtual classroom. Okay, so now I'm going to give you some minutes to talk about the different approaches. Remember, select one of the approaches we mentioned and tell me something positive, something negative, and something interesting. Tell me when you are ready.
I'm ready, teacher.
I'm
Now?
ready, Professor.
Okay. It's only one single thing, one positive, one negative, one interesting. Okay. Well, Luis, tell us something. Luis.
Oh, okay. Well, I have select a natural approach. I have 3 common thing positive that is are encourage active listening and meaningful interaction. Choose use comprehensible input with align with the natural process of the brain and the development of languages. And 3, focus on communication rather than using grammatical stuff, grammatical structure. Right. That is the positive. The negative is the progress might be slow because the person may adapt or develop the language based on their abilities. Also, the difficult to measure in the traditional assessment way. And the number 3, the last one, is the lack of clear curriculum. Oh,
A lack of clear curriculum. Okay.
okay. And something interesting that it was developed by Stephen Krashen, a key figure of the second language researcher. Another thing that is interesting, inspired by how children acquire their first languages.
Okay, good. Verónica.
Okay, Professor. I choose the audiolingual method. I choose the positive student learn through the music and movie and TV program. Negative, but with positive, they can differentiate between native language and second language. Negative, many times they focus on the visual and just listen information and not to practice the speaking with watch the TV movie. Okay, and interesting is that through this method, they learn a lot of vocabulary and a new no new words. Is okay, Professor?
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Thank
because
you.
the administration wrote something about that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next. Okay, I have to share. I have to share. It's okay. Next. Days. Days. Where the next?
Okay, teacher, I choose Suhestopedia. Suhestopedia, and I think positive is that improve the memory and the retention through the use of music and the relation and the environment that students can feel without anxiety. And a negative aspect is that if the teachers don't have the resource, can make the effectiveness of the class. And the interesting is that we can use music and the art, and I think it is a good way to learn.
Okay. Okay, one more. I'm going to tell you. Melanie, you are the winner. Melanie.
Okay, teacher, I choose a physical technique. The positive of physical technique are
Physical response. You said physical response. Total physical response. CPR.
Physical technique response, yes.
Okay, carry on.
Positive are engagement and retention. Physical activities such as acting of histories on using gesturing during lesson help reinforce memory and language retention by involving the body, not just the mind. Help kinesthetic learners. Some students learn best through movement and touch. Los estudiantes pueden aprender mejor a través del movimiento y el touch.
Okay.
Negative are not always practical. Some physical techniques can be challenging to implement in large or formal classroom setting or when teaching advanced English. Cultural barriers, limited application to academic skills. And the interest of this technique is that the use of physical techniques align well with the idea that language learning is a holistic process integrating physical, emotional, and a cognitive aspect. Physical techniques can also be found engaging, helping students for deeper connection to the language they are learning. That is all, teacher.
That's okay. Now we're going to talk about the different learning theories. What learning theories do you remember? Learning theories. We talk about approaches. Now we're going to talk about learning theories. What learning theories do you remember?
Well, the number one is behaviorism.
Behaviorism. What else?
Constructivism.
Constructivism.
Cognitive
learning.
Cognitive.
What else? What else? Ignativism. We have more. What else? What else?
Social learning theory.
Social learning, very good. One that is recently, is new tendency.
Base project.
And it's related with social media, websites, platforms. What is this theory? Do you know?
Experimental learning theory.
Experimental learning is another. What I said is something that is called connectivism. Connectivism, okay? Well, we're going to read about behaviorism. Behaviorism or behavioral learning is the same, behaviorism, okay? Let's start by reading. Let's begin with Liliana. Behaviorism.
Behavioral learning. This model suggests that learning is a result of reinforcement, punishment, and repetition. Incorporation feedback loops in the form of quizzes or tests will ensure that learners are retaining knowledge from each lesson, while tactile gamifications can also be used to create a positive reinforcement system for learners.
Okay, thank you so much. Suggests that learning is a result of reinforcement, punishment, and repetition. It means that we may model students' behavior. In this case, study, not, we may model knowledge, model behavior, model ethics, model values, and all of this. Are you ready? Are you ready? Then we have cognitivism. Cognitivism. In cognitivism is different. The other behaviorism says that we may model students' behavior, knowledge, incorporating things through positive reinforcement by giving good, proper, useful feedback. But cognitive learning is different. In this, the theory says that we have in our brain the capacity to retain, to learn, to memorize, to acquire information, okay? And in these cases, that learners are able to take advantage of learning strategies and use them to their greatest effect. So that is cognitivism. Then we have constructivism. Susana, could you read what is constructivism?
Okay, constructivism, according to this theory, learners actively construct their own knowledge by connecting new information with their existing experience and ideas about the world around them through inquiry-based activities. Successful trainers will often accomplish this by including simulation or problem-solving scenarios within the lesson and courses.
Okay, constructivism means that we are going to let the students the opportunity to create their own knowledge. They are going to construct their own knowledge by doing things by themselves. For example, when they solve a problem, that is constructivism. With kids, what activities do you consider we apply in the classroom that are constructivist activities? What activities? Give me examples.
Brainstorming, teacher.
Not exactly. Remember, constructivism is when they do things.
Okay, a student can conduct experiments.
Experiment, very good. What else? With kids, remember, with
With
kids.
kids.
No, but kids prepare experiment. That's okay.
Yeah.
With kids, what activity they do?
Teacher daily routine.
But what they are going to do with it? Daily routines is a topic. What activity the student is going to perform about daily routine?
Could be role playing.
Role play, that's okay. Remember,
Reflection project.
maybe, but try to emphasize on kids. Kids, remember, maybe crosswords, maybe puzzles.
Round table.
Round table. Mhm.
Oh, well, role play activities.
Role play activities. All the things that they are going to do by themselves. Label pictures. All of this is constructivism. Okay. This is what I like, connectivism. This is a new tendency, connectivism. Abel, could you read?
Okay, connectivism. This approach urge that a knowledge is not only acquired but shared among members of the social network. It's also subject that individuals should be able to access a resource from any location via multiply device at any time that needed them for a maximum effectiveness in learning. A good training program should be able to provide learning with this resource in the form of audio, video, and interactive connect.
Okay, very good. So connectivism is the new tendency. It's what we're doing at this moment. It means that you may stay in different places around our country or probably around the world, and you're going to use a device, and we may be connected. So we may practice activities, homework, tasks, conferences, webinars, all you want, but the knowledge is transmitted by this way, and suggest that we don't need a place to receive our lesson, maybe at home, maybe in a park, maybe in a restaurant, maybe in a cafe. So if you prepare a good lesson plan, if you prepare a good platform, a good classroom, so you are going to get excellent results. So what you're going to do is use that technology and all the tools that you have to prepare excellent lessons. What is connectivist learning theory? Luis, help me reading this.
Okay, what is connectivism learning theory? Connectivism is a relative new learning theory that suggests students should combine thoughts, theories, and general information in a useful manner. It accepts that technology is a major part of the learning process and that our constant connectedness gives us opportunities to make choices about our learning, also promotes group collaborations and discussion, allowing for different viewpoints and perspectives when it comes to decision making, problem solving, and making sense of information.
Thanks. There is something important we should take into account. When we talk about connectivism, we're talking about the theory, but it's not a synonymous of virtual class, because there is a little difference between virtual class and distant class in a virtual classroom. Because At this moment, for example, our class is synchronous class in a distance, but it's synchronous because we are at the same time together. Even you are at home, I'm in my home, but we are together. This is something synchronous, okay? But when we say virtual education, it's totally virtual. The difference is that there isn't contact between professor, facilitator, and the student. The student prepares a classroom, prepares a lesson, gives instruction, prepares video, assessment, activities, but there isn't a contact between the student and the facilitator. There is a difference. Okay, principles. Okay. Janie, read the principles of connectivism. Janie?
Sorry, the mic was off. And the Sims and Downs identify 8 principles of connectivism. Those main principles of connectivism are, so we can mention the first one could be like a learning and knowledge rests in the diversity of opinions. Okay, the next one is learning is a process of connecting. The third one, learning may reside in non-human appliances. Learning is more critical than knowing. Nurturing, thank you, and maintaining connections are needed for continual learning, and the ability to see connections between files, ideas, and concepts is a core skill. Accurate, up-to-date knowledge is the aim of all connectivism learning, and decision-making is the learning process. What we know today might change tomorrow, and while there is a right answer now, it might be wrong tomorrow due to the constantly changing the information climate.
This is very, very important in connectivism, in virtual education. While there is a right answer now, it may be wrong tomorrow. It changes day by day. There is new information every single day. Connectivism in a classroom, okay? So we are applying connectivism. What things do we need? By using this theory, when we want to apply this and work in this manner. Okay, one is the devices. We need internet, we need a device. It's important to use gamification, especially when we work with kids. Collaboration and interaction. I need to call all of you, fulano, fulano, fulano. Why? Because if I am talking and talking and talking and talking, you are going to feel distracted. Motivation. It is important to motivate with activities that promote learning. Group project. You may work in group in this tendency. Not alone, you may work in group if you want. And design of the classroom, how you design the classroom, all the elements that a classroom should contain. According to the theory of cognitivism, the classroom should contain, I'm going to say this in Spanish because the theory was developed in Spanish, bloque cero, bloque académico, zona de interacción, and bloque de cierre. So all the platforms should contain this element, and each part of the classroom has different characteristics that I'm going to explain during the other class. And that is called PASIE method. PASIE. PASIE method. That's the way we should arrange our virtual classroom. Okay.
That's what we figure me. How they work and how they differ between each other. No two students are alike, and the way every person learns will vary. Our brains are all unique, and our experiences all contribute to the different ways we learn. So let's see what these 5 theories are. To better explain them, I'll use some simple and practical examples that, in my opinion, are always the best way to clearly explain complex concepts. Theory number 1, behaviorism. Behaviorist learning theory, or behaviorism, utilizes key ideas from the work of Buris Frederick Skinner, an American psychologist, who theorized that learning occurs through a series of rewards or punishments. While Skinner believed that all learning could occur this way, the behaviorist theory is most commonly utilized in classrooms today as a tool for behavior management. According to Skinner, rewards increase the likelihood that behaviors will be repeated, while punishments decrease the likelihood of repetition. He also theorized that rewards and punishments could be either positive or negative in nature. What does this mean? When we give or add something to the environment, the interaction is positive. When we take something away, the interaction is negative. So, for example, removing an undesirable activity from the agenda might be a negative reward, and adding an undesirable activity to it might be a positive punishment. Let's see some examples to better understand these concepts. First example, in Miss Green's first grade classroom, she's working with one of her students, Jenny, to help her with some challenging attention span issues. She's giving her a candy whenever she sees her focused on a task. This is an example of positive reward. Second example, in Mr. Red's third grade classroom, he quietly reminds a student to keep all 4 legs of his chair on the floor. This is an example of positive punishment. Yes, verbal praise and reminders qualify as adding something to the environment. Third example, to increase the number of students who turn in their homework each day, Miss Red announces that if the class has 100% completion on today's assignment, they won't have homework on Friday. This is an example of negative reward. Fourth example, students in Mrs. Johnson's art class are having trouble sharing the supplies. Mrs. Johnson writes the word art on the board, and each time students have a disagreement over supplies, she erases a letter. If the word is erased completely, students will have to use pencil to complete their project for the day. This is an example of negative punishment. Theory number 2, cognitivism. Cognitive learning theory is largely based on the work of Jean Piaget, who rejected the idea that learners are passive and simply react to stimuli in the environment. Instead of focusing solely on observable behavior, cognitive theory seeks to explain how the mind works during the learning process. Like a computer, the mind takes in information, processes that information, then uses that information to produce learning outcomes. Piaget's 4 stages of development indicate the learner's ability to understand abstract, complex concepts. A few simple examples. First example, Miss Smith, a kindergarten teacher, works with students to verbally communicate their feelings. She knows that at this age, they're naturally egocentric and struggle to see things from others' perspectives. Second example, to help students memorize the periodic table, Miss Williams co-creates various mnemonic devices with her class. Third example, Miss Jones uses a graphic organizer in order to help students write paragraphs with appropriate structure. Fourth example,
At the start of every lesson, Mr. Davis asks questions to activate the prior knowledge of his students. He knows this will help to link the new learning concepts to previously retained ideas, increasing the likelihood that the new learning will be remembered. Theory number 3, constructivism. Constructivists see the learner as a constructor of knowledge. New learning is shaped by schemas, which the learner brings to the learning process. Lev Vygotsky is an important founder of constructivist learning theory. Vygotsky believed that learning is a collaborative process and that social interaction is fundamental for cognitive development. According to Vygotsky,
En caso de incendio mental, tus frenes y balboas al rescate.
students learn best when working collaboratively with those whose proficiency level is higher than their own, allowing them to complete tasks they're not yet able to do independently. Vygotsky identified these concepts as the more knowledgeable other and the zone of proximal development. Constructivist classrooms are student-centered, with the teacher acting as the facilitator. As usual, let's see some examples. First example, Miss Rodriguez intentionally pairs students performing on or above grade level with students performing below grade level, inviting them to turn and talk about their learning throughout a lesson. Second example, Miss Wilson uses collaborative learning to facilitate engagement with specific learning targets, ensuring heterogeneous student groupings. Third example, Mr. Brown uses problem-based learning to engage his students in solving real-world problems, meeting several learning targets while giving students autonomy to make decisions. He encourages students to work with peers who have different strengths than their own. Theory number 4, humanism. Humanist learning theory approaches learning as a way to fulfill an individual's potential rather than meeting specific learning targets. Maslow's research on the hierarchy of needs is a major concept within this theory, as it focuses on the whole person, specifically the cognitive and affective needs of the learner. The theory holds that self-actualization is the ultimate goal of each individual. Learners are trusted to determine their own goals, set standards, and evaluate their own work. Thus, students are at the center of the humanist classroom. Teachers are facilitators and coaches, recognizing the unique needs of each student and supporting their academic and social development. Let's see some examples. First scenario, Miss Anderson begins each day with a morning meeting to check in on her students' emotional well-being and proactively teach them specific coping skills and strategies. Second scenario, Mr. Thomas, an 8th grade science teacher, provides his students a menu of assessment options to illustrate their mastery of learning targets for the unit. Third scenario, Miss Roberts, a 2nd grade teacher, invites each student to set their reading goal for the quarter. Fourth scenario, Miss Fox, the school's counselor, partners with local organizations to fill backpacks with food that students can take home to ensure they have food to eat over the weekend. Theory number 5, connectivism. Connectivism is one of the newest educational learning theories. It focuses on the idea that people learn and grow when they form connections. This can be connections with each other or connections with their roles and obligations in their life. Hobbies, goals.
Okay, we're going to stop the video here and we're going to read about the last one. No, we have 2 more. Social learning. Social learning theory. And social learning focus on how individuals develop their own skills by observing others and imitating their behavior, which can be applied through the use of peer-to-peer instruction or collaboration activities. It's important to incorporate meaningful human interaction when using this theory. It means that we learn from others. Okay, and this video was about social learning. Now, we're going to take our second recess. Remember, I told you we're going to have 2 recess? Okay. Until 11, okay? Until 11, the second recess. Okay. Okay, we're going to continue. And we are going to continue with an activity about theories and about some concepts related to approaches and theories. Here in the messages, I share a link. Also, I'm going to share this link in the WhatsApp group. Let me check. Okay. Okay, let's try to work on this activity. Let's try to do. It's a crossword, okay? I'm going to give you some minutes to do this. In the WhatsApp, I copy the concepts that are going to help you, okay? In the WhatsApp group.
Teacher, sorry, I have a question.
Tell me.
After that we finish, we need to send to you any information of something like that.
No, no, only finish.
Okay, thank you.
All of you finish?
Not yet.
No yet, okay. I'm going to wait. Don't worry about it.
Me neither, teacher.
Okay, okay. Take your time.
Professor, there are two items repeated, observational. So I'm missing one, number 4. It's repetition.
Teacher, you have the mic off.
Okay, sorry. So you said that I copied twice observational. Okay, let me check what word is missing.
Yes.
We have behavior, observational,
Reinforcement, teacher.
reinforcement. That is me. Reinforcement. Reinforcement. Thank you. Reinforcement.
I'm finished, teacher.
Okay, so we are going to check together your answers.
Teacher, I made this activity in my notebook.
It doesn't matter. We're going to work together, okay?
Okay.
Well, number 1 says support provided to help learners reach higher levels of understanding. What is?
Scaffolding.
Scaffolding. Good. Number 2, a theory that focuses on observable behavior and their consequences.
Behavior.
Behavior.
Behavior. Very good. Number 3, a mental framework that helps organize and interpret information.
Schema.
Schema, very good. Number 4, anything that increases the likelihood of a behavior being repeated.
Reinforcement.
Number 5, learning by watching others and imitating their actions.
Observational.
Observational.
Exactly. Number 6, the drive or desires to learn and achieve goals. Motivation. Exactly. Motivation. Number 6. Number 7, a psychologist known for his stages of cognitive development theory. Number 8, the range of tasks a learner can do with or without help. That's it, the song. Remember the theory of proximal development. That is something related to that. 9, a theory that suggests learners construct their own understanding of the world. Constructivism. A type of condition where behavior is strength or weakness by consequences.
Operant.
Operant.
Exactly, that is the operant condition, okay? Number 11, a psychologist known for his socio-cultural theory of learner.
Vygotsky.
Vygotsky.
Vygotsky, okay. A theory that emphasizes mental process like thinking, memory, and problem solving.
Cognition.
Cognition, that is the cognitive theory. Okay, now we're going to continue with the last theory we have today. And the last theory we have today is andragogy. What is andragogy? What is andragogy?
Teaching for adults.
For adults.
Exactly, when we teach adults. So there is a difference when we teach kids, when we teach teenagers, and when we teach adults. The most important thing when we teach adults is that adults learn what they really need. Okay? Adults have other necessities. They have different types of motivation. Okay?
Yeah.
So
they need teaching for a specific purpose.
Exactly. They are going to learn what they really need. Unnecessary things are waste of time. Okay? So we have the definition here. It says how older learners gain and retain knowledge is the primary focus of this model. Okay? But let's watch this. The principles of andragogy.
First proposed andragogy. It had 4 principles about the way adults learn. However, over time and with further research, 2 additional andragogical principles were added. It's important to note that these are generalizations and don't necessarily apply to individual people. The learners need to know. The core principle is that adults need to know why before they engage in learning. It is believed to be more effective if adult learners have shared control of the learning process. There are 3 dimensions to this need to know. First, how the learning will be conducted. Second, what learning will occur. And third, why the learning is important. Self-directed learning. Adults can and do engage in self-directed learning. Adults assume ownership of their own learning. This can mean choosing a formal class or independent study. It does not mean that all adults like to self-teach. Rather, the idea here is that adults make the choice of how they approach the need to learn something new. Prior experience of the learner. Adults bring a plethora of unique experiences to the classroom. Adults' prior experience impacts learning because their previous knowledge is built upon. However, adults' prior experience can also cause biases that can create a natural tendency to resist new learning. Readiness to learn. Adults generally become ready to learn when something in their life causes them to need to learn something. For example, a new job or career change. Further, adults may have many life impediments to learning, such as family and career, which can negatively affect an adult's readiness to learn. Orientation to learning and problem solving. Adults generally prefer a problem-solving orientation to learning rather than a subject orientation to learning. Further, adults learn best when the skill or knowledge is placed into a real-world context. Motivation to learn. Adults tend to be more motivated to learn by things that help them solve real-world problems or help to improve their lives in some way. They tend to be more intrinsically motivated, wanting to be successful learners and wanting to enjoy the learning process.
Okay, as a manner of summary, the things that matter about andragogy, the first thing I said is that adults are going to learn what they really consider is important, what they really need. what they consider is useful for them. Okay. Another important thing is that usually and not always, when we work with adults, they usually work. So they don't want to waste their time. They want to stay in the classroom and use their time properly by doing things, by doing activities, receiving the information they really need. Another thing we have to take into account is that learner's age. Depends on the age, because we have an adult from 20 years to 28 years, but an adult my age, for example, 46 years old, is different. Probably in some occasions the adult is tired and probably sick. We have to take into account health. We have to take into consideration also the priorities. If we teach adults and they have specific occupation, the selection of the vocabulary they need according to their occupation. Another important thing is the selection of the materials. Okay, as a manner of summary, constructivism, okay? We have the theory of constructivism, and we have two proponents, Jean Piaget and Lev Vygotsky. Jean Piaget emphasized how learners construct knowledge through experience and interaction. In other hand, Vygotsky introduced the concept zone of proximal development, okay? And the role of social interaction in learning. Behaviorism. This theory has three proponents. We have John Watson, Skinner, and Pavlov. Okay, Watson promotes behaviorism as an objective science. Pavlov, the classical condition stimulus response. And Skinner, the operant conditional theory. I suppose you have listened about that theory. And Pavlov, the process of classical conditioning and the experiment that he did. Then the social learning, the author or proponent is Albert Bandura, and he proposed that learning occurs through observation, imitation, modeling, as we observed in the video, the Bobo doll experiment. He introduced the concept of self-efficacy and emphasized the role of cognitive process in learning. And we have the cognitivism. The proponents of cognitivism are Jean Piaget, Jerome Bruner, and Oswald. Piaget focused on the stages of cognitive development. Bruner, the spiral curriculum, and Oswald emphasized the meaningful learning and the importance of prior knowledge. And andragogy, Malcolm Knowles, and developed the concept of adult learning theory, emphasizing the self-direct learning, experience-based learning, and the intrinsic motivation. We have also the humanism created by Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. Maslow created the hierarchy of needs, stressing the importance of fulfilling needs for learning to occur. And Maslow and Rogers emphasize student-centered learning and the role of emotions in education. Maslow, the hierarchy of needs, and Rogers, the role of emotion. And finally, we have the connectivism created by George Siemens and Steve Downes. They propose that learning occurs through networks and digital connections, highlighting the importance of technology in the modern learning. Okay. This is as a manner of summary. We have another activity to reinforce all of this. So we have another link here that is a word search. You have to click on the link and do the word search. Let's do it. I'm going to copy this link also in the WhatsApp group.
I'm ready, teacher.
Okay, give me some minutes. I'm going to upload a book that you are going to use for the next activity next week. Okay, I'm trying to find a book culture. Okay. I think it's here. Do the other students finish?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Let's share the crossword.
Me too, Professor. I finished.
I have finished.
Okay. Okay, here it is. Okay, so we have I don't save my crossword. Someone could change the crossword. I didn't save my crossword. Someone could share the crossword, please. I didn't save mine. Please.
Yo, Prof.
Okay, share the crossword, please. Then we are going to talk about the homework. Share your crossword. Okay. Okay. Here is the crossword. There is a strategy. Okay. There is something that happened with the word naturalism. I wrote naturalism and I don't wrote that. I didn't write that. I wrote naturalism and it's naturalism. Okay? Naturalism. Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Guys, in the platform, I already upload a book. Okay, I have to change something. Because remember, at the beginning, I said we're going to present about the multiple intelligence. Do you remember at the beginning? Well, this is going to be for lesson number 3, okay? Lesson number 3. I'm going to repeat this. You are going to talk about types of learners. Susana and Abel, visual learner. Dailies and Melanie, auditory learner. Liliana and Veronica, kinesthetic. This is going to be for session number 3. Also, we talk about the multiple intelligences in the same activity, in the gallery work. Susana, naturalistic, Abel, musical, Baileys, intrapersonal, Melanie, linguistic, Liliana, logical, mathematical, Veronica, spatial, and Obed is going to talk about teacher's role in education. Luis is going to talk about students' role in education, and Janie about material selection. Okay, this is going to be for lesson 3, okay? But next week, Jeanette, you have to wait, okay? You have to wait. But you have an activity for the following week. And remember that agreement from 12 to 4. And the students who present a trouble as daily and Obed, write in the WhatsApp group. Abel, tell me.
Teacher, I so confused. The visual learner is a one topic and the select music is the 2 topic.
Okay. No, it is almost the same because we are going to talk about the types of, the multiple intelligences and the types of learner or learner styles. So we have 2 things we are going to talk, but each student is going to talk about the topic I assigned. Okay? So when you are going to talk about type of learner, so only we have 3 types of learners: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. The others are part of the theory of multiple intelligences about power grammar. Okay? So you are going to talk about both things, but in the same presentation. Okay?
Okay, I confection the PTT.
Okay, I said you may use Canva, you may use Padlet, you may use Jamboard, whatever you select. Use technology, be creative.
Okay.
Teacher, I have a question. This activity is individual, right?
It's individual. It's individual.
Okay.
Okay. Even you are going to talk about the same topic, it doesn't matter. Okay. Well, but what I want to do right now is to show you this. You have to talk about a holiday. Okay, because remember that culture is important in English learning, in the process of learning English as a second language, okay? Cultures.
I can use Canvas.
You may use Canva, Padlet, Google Slide. You may use, what is the other? Genially, whatever you decide, okay? That's
Teacher, a question, please. I have the topic like in the materials in lesson, right?
Let me check.
I would like to know if that is for a specific level or whatever level that we have used the materials lesson topic.
I said the same for teacher role, student role, selection of material. You are going to classify selection of material for kids, selection of material for teenagers, selection of material for adults. You need to show us the differences.
Okay? Thank you.
And the characteristics.
Teacher, I so confused. The activity of visual learner is in group. The individual is the
no. It's individual. All the activities are
all
individual.
of the activity is individual. Okay, I confection, for example, in the visual learner, how many PTT?
Okay, let me explain. All of you, pay attention. Don't feel stressed, because when you feel stressed, you stress me. Okay, for example, you are going to talk about visual learner. Okay, you are going to tell me, okay, visual learner is the person who learns by doing this and this and this. The activities they prefer are this and this and this. That's all. Then you are going to talk about musical. Okay, musical intelligence. You are going to tell me the characteristic of musical intelligence are this and this and this. They like to do this, this, this. They don't like to do this, this, this. The activities we may do with those kind of students are this. And if you want to present an example, you may do it. Okay, it takes no more than 6 slides, no more than 6. Okay?
Okay.
Something, remember, be precise, be concise, not a lot of words, because we have to listen one, another, and probably we're going to feel bored, okay? Be precise, be concise, straight to the point, the most important aspects, okay?
It's okay.
I don't know if you are clear right now. Yes, okay. Now, this is for session 3, but this activity about holidays is for session number 2. You are going to create an infographic and you are going to present the infographic here. But in order to avoid repetition, I decided to upload this book. This book is going to help you to select your activity. Okay, we have here a lot of activities. For example, we have New Year's, we have Martin Luther King Day, we have President's Day. Ooh, we have a lot of days. We have the Flag Day, we have the Memorial Day, we have the Independence Day, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have Mother's Day, Labor's Day, okay? Christopher Columbus Day. And what I want to do right now, you may use this to do your infographic if you want, because this book is very complete. Okay, Veterans Day. We have Christmas, Chinese New Year, Valentine's Day. We have Native America. I can see the other word. Native America Pouch. What others? Blah, blah, blah. Aha. Harbor Day and Air Day. We have Mother's Day and Father's Day. Graduations. Flag Day. I don't like this. Halloween. Birthdays and anniversaries, okay? So you may select right now your topic in order to avoid repetition, okay? Okay, let me write this. Because it's important. Veronica, tell me.
I choose Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to use another color. Veronica says Thanksgiving. Remember, you have the book. If you want to, one thing that is important is, if it's possible to present an activity we may do with our students about this holiday. Okay.
Thanksgiving Day, teacher, remember?
Thanksgiving. Veronica, select Thanksgiving.
Okay, the Mother's Day?
Mother's Day, a ver. It's Mother's and Father's Day. It's together, I think.
Teacher, I would like to select birthdays and anniversaries.
Who is talking? Ah, Jeanette.
Yes.
Jeanette, I have to write your name. What is your last name, Jeanette?
Gutierrez.
Jeanette Gutierrez. Okay, what is your topic? Anniversary.
Yes, birthdays and anniversaries.
Birthday and anniversary. Okay.
Liliana.
Christmas
Day.
Liliana?
Christmas Day. Christmas.
Christmas. Liliana, Christmas.
New Year Day,
Okay.
Professor.
Susana, you raise your hand.
Teacher, I choose Labor Day.
Labor's Day.
Well,
Okay.
I would like to take President's Day.
Luis, President's Day. Okay. Who else?
Sure. Me, Janie, I am gonna select New Year.
Janie, New Year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valentine Day.
Jeanette, Liliana, and Janie, put your hand up, please. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Dailies, you?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Okay. Melanie?
What topic missing, teacher?
Oh, is we have Veterans Day, Flag Day.
Flag Day.
We have Halloween. We have President Day. Is me
Halloween, teacher.
who said
I choose
Halloween?
Halloween.
Melanie, Halloween.
Yes.
Halloween. Okay, let me check who's missing. Jeanette, Susana, Bel, Dailis, Melanie, Liliana, Obed.
Yeah, I was in the platform because I want to observe the other topic
Okay.
that are missing there, so, but I couldn't observe it. Which one are missing there? Or
I think it's
which one that someone haven't selected? That
okay.
someone haven't selected.
You may select the others. We have, I think it's Flag Day. I think
Martin Luther King.
King's Veterans Day. Christopher Columbus Day. That's good activity. Christopher Columbus.
Chinese New Year.
New Year's. Jenny select New Year's.
Well, the Flag Day.
Flag Day.
Yeah.
Flag Day. Okay. Guys, I would appreciate if you get an activity to do with kids about this activity, okay? I would appreciate, and if we would select something very specific, useful that students may do in a classroom, no digital, maybe digital, because all the students nowadays, they have cell phones, okay, to do, and if it's possible to share those activities in classroom, as we may keep this with us, but when we have the opportunity, we may apply these activities, okay? That's the purpose of this, to share knowledge, to share material, okay? So we may prepare something at home, obviously, like a portfolio with the activities that we are going to share with us. Okay? Do you have questions about this, Jeanette?
So this topic is for the next session, right?
Jeanette?
Yeah, just to make sure, we need to create like a presentation about the topic that we choose.
No. It's an infographic. I explained at the beginning of the class all the instruction of the infographic, okay? So you should watch the video, the link of the class, because I explained at the beginning of the class, okay? All the instruction. Luis, tell me.
No, I would like to confirm that this activity is for the following class, the following session, and we need to present it, right?
Okay, yes. You are going to present the infographic. And I said, please share an activity with us.
Yeah, I know.
That's all for next week. That's
Okay.
all. Only one activity. Okay, only one. Session number 3 is about multiple intelligences. Okay. I don't know if you have clear the instructions.
Yes, teacher.
You have cleared the instruction, okay. If you were late, okay, At the beginning of the class, I explain all the activities. I explain all the things you have in the platform. If you are late, so please check the link and pay attention to all the instructions, okay? Guys, thank you for your attention. Thank you for your collaboration. I know that it's difficult to be here for hours, but so we got our goal. The first day is done, okay? So please watch the video if it's necessary. Do your activity. You have the book in the platform. If you want to research information in other place, you are free to do it. It's your decision. And see you next week. God bless you and have a very, very nice day. See you next week.
Thank you, Professor. Have a good
See you.
afternoon too.
Yes.
Bye.